E3 Day 1 has come and gone. I've been covering Nintendo news all day long. Nintendo had their Nintendo Direct and their Treehouse Live segments and a couple tournaments. And I wanted to talk to you guys about Nintendo's Direct and see what you thought, and also share my own thoughts on the Direct. As you guys know, for a while now, Nintendo has done their own thing when it comes to E3. Nintendo usually does their own thing in general, but they certainly do their E3 stuff differently from what the other companies do, and this year was no different. So going into this Direct, I knew that Nintendo was going to focus on mostly what's coming out in 2018. So I really wasn't expecting too much in the way of surprises. So for me, what I got from the show was just fine. I can understand people being upset saying, there are no big reveals, there are no big surprises, where's Metroid, stuff like that. You know, it is E3 time. I think no matter what Nintendo says, people are going to be like, oh, I'm expecting something really big, there's going to be a huge surprise. It's just the nature of the beast, really. So, you know, even if Nintendo's not hyping that up, I can understand that people want or expect that kind of thing, and when they don't get it, they feel a bit let down. But for me, yeah, I wouldn't say it was their best E3 by any stretch of the imagination. I also wouldn't say it was their worst E3 by any stretch of the imagination. But it was just, it felt like your standard Nintendo Direct, which gives you an update on titles that are coming in the near future. So maybe a little understated of a presentation, but the content that's in there, everything that I've seen, or I should say mostly everything that was shown, I definitely want to get my hands on. Turns out that those leaked marquees for what Nintendo's booth was going to have as far as games on display turned out to be pretty spot on. I mean, it was 100% accurate as far as games that were going to be shown in the Direct, but it didn't showcase everything that Nintendo talked about in the Direct. For example, we now know Super Mario Party is something that exists and is coming to the Switch on October 5th. We got our first look at the Fire Emblem game for Switch. We knew it was coming, but now it's got a title and we've actually seen what it looks like. Unfortunately, it was bumped back to 2019, but the game itself is looking pretty great. There's also the new game Daemon X Machina, which is some kind of mech game that looks really interesting to me. I don't really follow the mech genre too much, but I've certainly had a lot of fun with games like Zone of the Enders and stuff like that, and this will play somewhat like that, I imagine, but definitely looks like it's taking a more action-oriented approach and has a much different look to it. And like I said, then there's the other stuff that we knew from the marquees: Overcooked 2, Killer Queen Black. We saw more Octopath Traveler, which isn't a surprise. We got to look at the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC that's coming out September 22nd or 21st. So yeah, it wasn't anything where you were like, wow, oh my god, look at this, that's so surprising. But the content that was here has me excited for what's coming out on Switch as we get to the end of 2018. Nintendo also pulled the 1-2 punch of, hey, here's this thing, and it's available now. Even if one of them was the worst-kept secret in the game industry, Fortnite coming to the Switch, Nintendo did show a trailer and confirmed it, and then they were like, hey, you can get it later today. So I love when companies are like, here's the thing, and you can download it now. I think that's a lot of fun. So it was cool to see that, and then going along with that is Hollow Knight, which people have been like, when's Hollow Knight coming to the Switch? Why can't we get a release date? And Team Cherry's been like, we're going to tell you something soon, just hang in there. And we found out today that the game is out now, so hopefully those of you who were waiting can have already hopped on the Switch eShop and grabbed it. I haven't had the time to do so because I've been covering E3, but hopefully people aren't getting too caught up in the E3 madness and don't realize that that game is out there, because I know, like I said, a lot of people have been waiting for it. And it's very cool to see it finally launch. While half of the Direct focused on all kinds of games for the Switch, the other half, if not a little bit more, focused on Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Switch. Again, Smash Bros. We knew was coming to the Switch, but we got the blowout on what this game is going to be all about, what it's going to include, and basically it includes everything and everyone. Every character that's ever been in Smash Bros. Is coming back for Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's jam-packed with levels from classic games and some new levels too, and new items, all kinds of tweaks and changes. There's some new characters in there too, I'm sure more to be revealed later. Not too many, which Nintendo made clear that this is focusing on characters that have been in past franchises, but there will be some new ones. So, yeah, Nintendo poured a ton of time into covering Smash Bros. Ultimate. I honestly think they may have done too much, because not only did we get what seemed like half of the Direct itself. But then there were 3 segments during the Treehouse live stream, and then there was the Smash Brothers tournament as well. So it was Smash Brothers overload. Nintendo made it very clear that they are focusing on Smash Brothers Ultimate as their main title for the holiday season. And it's coming out late in the game too. It's coming out December 6th, but still, that is their big whopper for this year, so they want to make sure everybody knows it. They did the same kind of thing for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but many people thought that Nintendo focused on it at that E3 because the Wii U was dying and they didn't really have anything else to show. So everybody was like, oh, this is kind of embarrassing. Nintendo's going to focus completely on this one game because they don't really have anything else. But seems like Nintendo liked that approach and I think it worked for them, so they're going to do that more often. And while we certainly had other things to look at, there's no doubt that Smash Brothers was the game Nintendo wanted you to really see. Oddly enough for me, the biggest surprise didn't even come from Nintendo's press event, it came from Ubisoft. Ubisoft revealed that the Star Fox team is going to be part of Starlink Battle for Atlas. I was watching their press conference yesterday, and I heard some sound effects, and I was like, that sounds like Star Fox to me. I know Star Fox, I'm a huge fan of the series. So just the very first noise, I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And I like got closer to my monitor, and I was like, oh my god, they're really doing this. I think that was such a cool reveal. So you get these Star Fox characters in Starlink, and if you buy Starlink, no matter what version, or as long as you're buying it on Switch, you will get that Star Fox content for free. That is not paid content. But if you get the special starter pack at retail for Starlink, then you get the special Arwing figurine and the Fox McCloud like little figure as well. So that bonus content is there, and I'm super excited about it. It was 100% a shock. I don't think we heard anything or any rumors or any leaks, and nothing came out, so that's fantastic because it ended up being a really big surprise. I think if that was in Nintendo's press conference, it would have made a big splash as well, but you can obviously see why Ubisoft wanted that one. So yeah, for me, as far as E3 goes, that's probably my favorite moment. I asked you guys on Twitter what you thought of the Nintendo Direct. I put out a Twitter poll, and 57% of you said you liked it, 33% said you thought it was meh, and 10% said you didn't like it. That's 2,100 votes in 12 hours, so as of me recording this, that's what the numbers are at. You still have time to go over and answer that poll if you'd like, or you can hit up the comments here and let me know what you thought in greater detail. I would be interested to know how you felt about the show. Did you end up feeling a bit disappointed? Was it everything you wanted? Are you a huge Smash Brothers fan and you're super excited about what you thought? Are you hoping there's more surprises later in the week? Just let me know your thoughts, because it seems like at least everyone's talking about Nintendo's Direct, and the response, I would say, is overall pretty good. I've seen Nintendo Directs or Nintendo's E3 stuff received a bit better than this, but I certainly wouldn't say it's bad. It just all depends on what your expectations were, and if you're following along with what Nintendo said they were going to do for this year's E3. So yeah, let me know. I'm interested to hear what you have to say, and I'll be keeping an eye on the comments. Hey guys, RMC here from Go Nintendo. If you like what you saw in the video, why don't you give us a thumbs up and maybe even subscribe? We'd love to have you. If you want to see what else we're up to, you can check out GoNintendo.com for 24-hour Nintendo news. You can visit us on Facebook at Facebook.com/GoNintendo. You can check us out on Twitter at Twitter.com/GoNintendoTweet. And we're even over on Instagram at Instagram.com/GoNintendo. I put all the links in the description just to make it easier for you guys to follow. Thanks a lot!